Illuminati's haters salty.
Everybody, welcome to IE Sports Radio. I'm Niners Jess along with Ty Alston. Maddie B is a scratch for tonight, and your girl Bex. We are the East Coast Red and Gold. What's going on?
What's going on? How's everybody
How
doing?
y'all doing?
All right. Coming at us fast and furious.
Yep. I'm doing good, but I'd be doing even better if I had myself some Planet Jerky Premium Beef Biscuit Jerky on hand. You know, because Planet Jerky is the official jerky sponsor of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. West Side. It's an all beef, all brisket jerky that has gluten-free options. It contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate. It's low in sugar, but it's high in protein. So it's just good for you, you know? Once again, huge shout out to our sponsor, Planet Jerky. The jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Check. All the boxes.
Yeah, and check them out on planetjerky.net. All right, so within the last 5-10 minutes, we've had a little bit of drama
What
that I
happened?
figured that we would cover first.
Oh my God. I was out
to
walking the
some-
dog. What happened?
Yeah, to some, this may be breaking news that you don't know, but linebacker Eric Kendricks from the Chargers has decided to sign with the Cowboys instead of
What?
us. Yes.
Wow. All righty then.
That's karma. He'll get his.
Wow. Well,
Mhm.
how about them apples? That's interesting.
Excuse me while I grab the candlesticks, Eric.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas hasn't made any moves.
Nope.
They were pretty much non-existent yesterday. All the memes going around, you know, that
Mhm.
they're signing nobody, and now all of a sudden, apparently Eric Kendricks has familiarity with Mike Zimmer, their new DC down in Dallas.
He's with him in Minnesota.
So he is joining them. I didn't realize they needed a linebacker.
Yeah. They're thin at linebacker. They were getting abused. They had safeties playing linebackers. They didn't have a real linebacker. That was part of their problem. But this is out of left field. This is out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was sitting here, I was waiting for you guys, and I was scrolling, and I was like, oh, wow, look at that. And we had the other news that, you know, Kevin Givens has re-signed with us.
Re-signed 1-year deal.
Yep. But now I'm kind of curious as to what we do at linebacker now. Because we definitely don't know when Dre Greenlaw will be ready.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could be mid-season. I've seen a lot of people say week 1. I think that's not realistic, but hey, if it's week 1, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are your guys' thoughts?
Very interesting. Well, Mike Zimmer got one of his guys back, one of his old guys. Okay. Can't blame Zim for reaching out. Probably stole him at the 9th hour, 11th hour, excuse
11,
me.
yeah. 11 and
yeah.
a half.
Just grabbed him. Wow. Okay. Well, for us, it means we're back to the drawing board, you know. Once again, we still got 2 young linebackers on the team. It's two guys who we signed a linebacker, I believe, to help coach them up. Like, I don't think we signed him for Fred and Dre, right? They are who they are. I think he's to get his hands on those young guys and coach them up. So
You mean KJ Wright?
Yeah, KJ Wright. Yeah, we signed KJ Wright as our coach.
Helping out with the names.
Sorry. I'm not naming any names, but I'm sorry. I'm supposed to name names. Yeah. You know, when you talk about this stuff so much, you just assume everyone knows. But yeah, we signed KJ Wright to be the linebackers coach. I think that's specifically to get his hands on young Jalen Graham and D Winters to get them up to speed, right? Get them going. So he'll take care of them. We're just at the beginning of free agency, really.
Yeah.
So the team can still make a move for a veteran linebacker to come in, put him on a 1-year deal to help fill the Dre Greenlaw void. Because we know Kyle definitely likes veterans on the team. So that's still at play. I don't think it changes the MO of what we're trying to accomplish at all.
I would agree with that, but I do think like that was going to be the plug in, to finger in the dike till we get, Greenlaw back healthy.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And
yeah.
Now that's a big hole again. So, we're back to like scouring the market for something that we thought we had.
I guess he doesn't want to win in the postseason.
Clearly, he's delusional.
Some people don't like to work overtime. They like to work their schedule and go home.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Crazy Juice says, well, I guess Eric Kendricks prefers to play for a first-round exit team rather than playing for an NFC contender.
Exactly. So,
100%.
Play until February.
He likes the early trip to Cabo.
Yeah, exactly. You get that early flight to Cancun. Things are cheap.
Wow.
How about it?
He's dead to me.
We already do not miss you. So
exactly.
See ya.
See ya. Just like Brian Burns, dead to me.
Yeah.
But he's your neighbor now.
It doesn't matter.
You can drive by and wave.
Absolutely doesn't matter. When I saw that, I was like, because you said that, and I was like, oh, I wonder if it's Giants or Jets. And then I saw the Giants, because the Jets, I would have been like, all right, like it's kind of the lesser of the two evils. But then I saw the Giants, I'm like, whatever, completely dead to me, like not giving it any thought whatsoever.
I still have grudges from.
He would have been way too expensive, though.
Oh yeah. You see the massive
he got
extension they gave him. Wow.
Yeah. And it's a shame because their offense is like in shambles.
Yep.
Shout out to the chat. Welcome everybody. If you're just joining us, we were just talking about the news of linebacker Eric Kendricks now deciding to sign with the Cowboys. But yeah, post how you feel about it. Post about the other, free agents that we sign. I'll show them up on the screen and we'll talk about it. Leonard Floyd, 10.5 sacks last season, 2 years, 20 million, 40 sacks over 4 seasons. Haven't had this, opposite of Nick Bosa in, I don't know, long time.
2019.
Better than having Randy Gregory and Chase Young. What do you guys think?
Yep.
I mean, I think so. I think he's very durable, and he's proven that he can play at a high level, and I think he knows the system. Didn't he play with one of the coaches or in the system with somebody?
Yes, he played. He was with Buffalo and he was with the Rams.
The Rams, right? That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. So I think he knows the system, and you know how these guys are. They like to bring in guys who know the system. And I personally think that's where Chase Young struggled. The system's complex. It's a lot to learn. And Brian doesn't like the change, but I like production. So I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Chase Young did not produce like we thought he would, be in the bookend to his buddy, and it was not brilliant. It was not fun and flashy like we were hoping. And I just feel like Leonard Floyd is one of those head down, work hard kind of guys who gets in there and just does his job and produces results. I'll take those kind of workhorses all day, every day, especially the durable ones who can play late in the season and still be, up there on the line, not on the sideline.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I think I speak for Maddie when I say that
Oh
he has
yeah.
been
Shout out.
pounding the table for Leonard
Shout out to
Floyd
Maddie B.
for
Oh yeah.
Oh,
about
well, yes. Where's Maddie? Maddie got his boy.
about 2 seasons, I would think.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we finally got him, and hopefully he produces. Otherwise, we're just gonna be on Maddie for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the thing. He better produce. Just give me the same energy you've been given for the past 4 or 5 seasons. Right?
Yeah,
He's
and you know what
durable.
too? When he was with the Rams, I believe Brandon Staley was there. I mean,
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. I think you're right. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was like I feel
Yeah.
like there was a
That's the
connection with one of
connection,
the coaches.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Staley was there. So just give us that same consistency. That's all we need. And overall, he's a high energy, high motor guy, right? He will just keep coming at you, and that's what we need. And I think that's what we've been looking for, even when we signed D Ford.
Yeah.
Like we were looking for his type of production.
Mhm.
D Ford was kind of that way, but Leonard
I
Floyd plays
love
the
D
run.
Ford.
I know I love
Yeah.
D Ford too, but Leonard Floyd plays the run a little better than D Ford too. Like,
He
so
does.
we can use him on all 4 downs if we want to, or just use him as a pass rush specialist, which he'd be great at. But yeah, high energy just keeps going. He's relentless, and that's kind of what we need. A guy who won't take plays off, or after he makes his initial move and doesn't get there, kind of slacks off on the back end. That's what kind of killed us this past season. So I think it's a great pickup. I'm loving it. I can't wait to see how we use him.
Brian, I prefer Jeep.
Wrangler, baby.
That's right. Jeep life. Woo. Those of you just joining us, welcome. We are
Welcome,
talking
everybody.
about Leonard Floyd. What's going on, Dawn? How you doing?
Hey, Dawn.
Post in the chat. What do you think about the players that we've signed? About Eric Kendricks now going to the Cowgirls? Anything that's on your mind? We'll talk about it. Second round tender for Juwan Jennings.
Like it. I hope they work out an extension for him.
I mean, I think that was our way of holding the table a little bit, so we get through a little bit of this first fast and furious free agency, so we can work on a long-term deal with him. We certainly don't want him going anywhere else, and I think everyone knows that. He's proven time and time again. He's got great hands, great feel, and he has a great rapport with Brock Purdy. And I don't think we want to see that go, especially in light of, looking forward in the next year or two of who potentially becomes free agents and what that looks like. If we can lock him on a long-term deal, we've got the next man up who's already producing at a high level for us. So yeah, we don't want him going anywhere else.
Yeah. And we've seen like
Hi,
Juwan
hold
Jennings.
on 1 second.
Sorry.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Bryant, Jeep upside down spells beer. Thank you.
We got to hold on. Breaking news.
I know, right?
Carry on.
Take
Yeah.
that.
Oh my God. As you were.
Geez, you just lost me. What was my train of thought? What was I saying?
We're talking about
Juwan
Juwan Jennings.
Sorry.
Juwan Jennings, yes. Okay, Juwan Jennings. It's great. And as we've seen from Juwan Jennings, he's improved year over year, right? He just keeps getting better and better. And he's developed into this. I think he's a good all-around receiver. I really like him. And you can see that during the season, like in crucial moments, like the ball went to him. He was the number 1 read. We need to get the ball to him to convert this touchdown or whatever. In the Super Bowl, we need to score. We went to him. Like he threw the touchdown pass. He caught a touchdown pass. Like he was the guy. So I think he's definitely a keeper. And I think Kyle likes him. I think Kyle has always liked him. And you never really heard about him being in that Kyle Shanahan doghouse, right?
No.
Even when he was a rookie, we know Kyle brought in Mohamed Sanu, and we know Kyle likes those older receivers, and he was playing Sanu, but then when Jennings started playing, he kind of pushed Sanu to the back burner and was like, I can't get this Jennings kid off the field. He's playing too well. So he's been that way ever since. I think this is a great signing. I'm hoping this leads to an extension.
Really good.
Sign him to a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
Like, just extend him. Just get it done. Because he has proven to be very valuable to this team. And we saw at the end of the season this year, when he was injured, we missed having him as that third receiver out there. It was quite a difference. So, yeah. JJ, keep it going, man.
Exactly. And I like it, Sarah Dome, the calculator.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When people have the answer, we have the calculator.
That's right. We are 49 strong.
Yeah.
Watching
hit
the
50 a
stream.
second ago. Nice.
Thank you, guys. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. And we're on every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Juwan Jennings is awesome. If we won the Super Bowl, he would have been Super Bowl MVP.
Without a doubt.
Hands down. He's good for Brock to have around, when the others are covered. And you can just throw the ball up there and he comes down with it. And as we've seen, time and time again. And, I'm with you, Ty. Like, I hope that they get an extension for him because I can, I liked him coming out of Tennessee. I thought he was, exactly what we needed. He has that dog in him. Yeah. And even the stories that we've heard, like with him in practice and, and seeing him like take the guy out by the cooler and, and stuff like that. I mean, that's definitely somebody who we need on this team because that's the type of football that the 49ers play for sure.
Oh, yeah.
We've re-signed Colton McKivitz. I know a lot of people are very unhappy about that. Shocking.
People upset about offensive line.
Yeah, they're gonna be upset about anything we do, but we need some consistency, right? We have to have some level of consistency, and O-line is I think our probably our biggest draft priority. Quite frankly.
I don't know. I don't know if some realize, but continuity along the offensive line is huge.
It is extremely important.
Yeah.
Not just for the offensive line, but for the entire offense.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope they solidify right guard in some form of fashion. I love me some Spencer Burford. But at the same time, the whole rotation between him and Feliciano, like we can't rotate in there. We have to have one guy that's just going to stay in there. And so I'm kind of curious to see what they do.
Yeah, that's the only big question mark remaining for me. Are they going to address that in some way? Well, they need to, because right now only Spencer Burford is there and we have no depth. So they need to address it in some way.
Either re-sign Feliciano or
right, exactly.
We're gonna have to address that in the draft. So
yeah,
or wait until free agency shakes out a little more and start.
Exactly.
These other, obviously O-line it seemingly always is the last thing we address, or most teams do. And so you wait till the end, and then you start to pick up these free agent O-linemen and what have you. But I do think we'll make some moves in free agency there, but I think it'll be a priority in the draft too on the O-line.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. We always address it last. If you notice, there's this first wave of free agency, and then there's the draft, and then there's kind of second wave back end free agency period that happens, and that's when we tend to start picking up an O-lineman here, an O-lineman here. On the cheap.
Filling the cupboard.
Exactly. That's when we address it. I think a lot of us want to see them kind of address it up front. Like, let's get it done now. That way we can start not only protect this season coming up, but maybe the future seasons, right? A season or two down the road when we may lose a guy. So yeah, time to step up and do something there.
Yeah, I don't know about finding our starter in the draft.
I don't think we will either, but
No.
I do think we end up re-signing Feliciano, and I think we'll find some other pearls in the
Because
draft.
that's a tall ask in Kyle
Yeah.
Shanahan's system.
Huge.
100%.
I'm looking for an Aaron Banks type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Okay.
we draft a guy, great potential, played 3-4 years in college, and maybe we redshirt him and coach him up, school him, see how he does, and see if he has that potential to be a future starter. I think that's the ideal situation.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just because we re-signed Colton McKivitz and Ben Barch does not mean that the offensive line is solidified.
Yeah, no,
No.
not at all.
Yeah.
we need bodies.
Yeah, you gotta have rotation. You gotta have people
Yeah.
that can play and move around with injuries. And you see some of those guys, that
I do not
play
think
multiple positions. So
when they re-signed Ben Barch, they were like, "Yeah, we're done."
We got this. We're good.
Take the line off.
low clap.
Look at-
Look at what we did.
I do not think that happened.
More than Cowboys.
Kendricks, yes, I believe he is
Yeah.
32, but
Yeah.
he finished second on the team with 117 tackles
Yeah.
last season. So he definitely still has it. I mean, he would have been the stopgap between with Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We just signed him for 1 year just to fill that void, with a veteran player. That's what he was.
George Odom,
Mm-hmm.
one of the top special teamers. We have him back.
That's a good sign. I was happy to see that.
Also, a safety. Brandon Allen is back. Sam Darnold signed with the Vikings.
Yep.
Did he
For 1
officially
year.
do that? I wasn't sure if
Yes.
that had happened. So
Yep. What are you guys' thoughts? What are your thoughts about the quarterback situation? Obviously, Brock Purdy being the starter. Wow, imagine that. We don't have to have that conversation.
Nope.
wait, we're not going to fight about the quarterback position? I'm
Or like
sorry.
he
I'm
hasn't
logging
been
out
with
right
this,
now.
with this player yet, or that player, or
Until we bring someone in,
Yeah, right.
right.
then the fighting will start.
So will Brandon Allen be number 2? And do they draft somebody, or do they bring on somebody like Ryan Tannehill, who is still out there? What do you guys think?
I totally think they bring another veteran in. They're not going to leave it to chance. We saw that with, a veteran journeyman backup, and it did not serve us well in the playoffs. I do believe we find us a veteran, but I also think we'll draft somebody too. But I do
No,
think
Steve-O.
we want to find another weird.
Don't start.
Steve-O, stop it right now.
Don't start.
If you're talking about Eric Armstead, we have released Eric
He's
Armstead.
been released.
He's
Yeah.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. I think the goal is to keep the quarterback room cheap,
Mhm.
as cheap as possible. So if they bring in a veteran, look for a guy to sign like $1 or $2 million, somewhere around there. Some, one of these guys that just been around for a long time, and we could just get him on the cheap, as well as drafting a rookie, right? And he won't even count toward our top 51 players.
Right.
That's the way that'll go. So I can see those moves happening very easily. And, they may not even keep the veteran on the team. We've done that in years past. So that's the way it will definitely go. Yeah.
Yeah, Deebo Samuel changed his number and has added to his name as Samuel Sr.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love it.
So it's going to be real funny listening to all those people who do not know how to pronounce his name You know those people that put an S at the
At
end.
the end,
Oh,
Mr.
Samuels. Yeah.
Yeah, Samuels. They'll be like Samuels Senior, sounding like they have a lisp.
Yeah.
Now's a good time for you to learn how to say his name properly. It's
Do you
Samuel.
lisp or have you been drinking?
Get in those production meetings,
How
everyone.
many
Exactly.
beers have you had?
Learn
Mr.
the player's
Senior?
name.
Especially, and I say this quite often, it's Brandon Ayuk.
Oh my God.
Not
Ayuk.
Ayuk? Bless you. Did you sneeze?
I know. Like, what did he just say? Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Crazy. Callie Young says get Tannehill for a backup. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I think so.
I'd be for
I
that.
think the number's a little more than 2 mil, though. I think we would go 5, 6, 7 if we got a
would?
technical
Okay.
backup quality guy for sure.
Okay, we signed a defensive end, Yetur Gross Matos, to a
Mhm.
2-year deal, 18 million, 26 years old, 4.5 sacks from the Panthers. It's
Mhm.
no Brian Burns.
It's Brian Burns light. That's what you got.
Yes.
He's a
You
good
didn't get Bud, you got a
rotation,
Bud Light.
utility guy, though.
What's that?
He's a good rotation
Right.
utility guy.
You know,
and
26 years old, you know,
Mhm.
good motor.
Exactly.
That's what we need. I think we you know, this
Potential.
free agency, I think we've done a lot of construction on the defensive line.
Yeah.
So I definitely I really like him, and his story is definitely very heartbreaking.
Oh, I don't know his story, so
Yeah,
he might automatically become a favorite. You know?
he was out with his, I don't know word for word, but he was young and he was out with his family. He was swimming, and he needed some assistance, so his father jumped in to save him,
Yeah.
and his father
Same for
wound up drowning.
Yeah.
So
Aw.
that's
Oh, that's devastating. Aw. I mean, Maddie was very high on him. So, you know, speaking for Maddie, it's a Chris Kucherik special, or what do you call him in the chat?
It's definitely
He's like,
Kucherik special. Yeah.
he's a project for him, that, you know, one of those guys that he looks for, these younger players who've not been coached up well, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, the D whisperer will make him a star. So
Yeah.
I think Matt was pretty high on this pickup for that
Yeah.
reason, the upside potential.
That's right, and he also lost his brother.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, sounds like Patrick Willis.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
David, no to Josh Johnson and no to Brian Hoyer.
I agree.
Brian Hoyer was brought in because of the culture that Kyle and John wanted to install in this organization. And we've done that, and that's the end of that.
Yeah.
That's right. His brother was hit by lightning on the field
lightning.
and killed instantly.
Lord.
So yes, and Brian also said he's here for a purpose, and I agree with that. Moving on, this is probably Javon Kinlaw's replacement, defensive tackle Jordan Elliott from the Browns.
Yep.
Which I think is actually the best pickup.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it as well. I agree. I thought that was a great pickup. He's another one. I think, you know, what they seem to have honed in on are these guys who are rugged and really, really play solid and you know, overcome and are just durable dudes. And that's what it seems like we're getting there, is someone who he may not play at the same high level as Kinlaw, but he's durable and he's going to last all season long and be in there. And we're not going to be, you know, losing our starters to injury as much as we have. So I thought it was a good pickup, and I think it's probably the best plug and play that we picked up as a replacement based on what I read about him. So I like it.
I definitely think he's an upgrade over Kinlaw.
Yeah, I think so too.
High
energy, Great motor. Yeah, I like him.
We spoke about Eric Kendricks. For those of you who don't know, he has decided to sign with the Dallas Cowgirls.
Bad boy.
So yeah, in the chat, post who your favorite free agent signing is. We'll get them on the screen and we'll talk about it. Defensive tackle. This could possibly be Eric Armstead's replacement. We traded for him for a 7th round pick, Malik Collins from the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
I like him a lot. I watched some Texans games, and I liked him a lot. He's a short, wide body guy, but with a high motor and quick feet. He's quick off the ball. He's like kind of Warren Sapp-ish. Not saying he is Warren Sapp, but just that kind of mold.
I could see that comparison.
He can definitely is quick, can get penetration, but still strong enough and stout enough to hold up against double teams, play the run, and still get to the quarterback. I like this pickup a lot.
Is he the one that ranks pretty highly on the pass rush? Like he's very highly ranked against
He's very good at pass rush. Oh yeah.
And then we picked up somebody else who was really good against the run. And I don't know if they're going to intend to use them as like a rotation there in the Eric Armstead role. But this guy, I mean, from everything I know about him, fine. Eric wants to leave, go on to different pastures. He was great for us. We love Eric, but this guy seems to also have some durability and plays really at high level. So, hey, we got to fill the gaps where we can and with the right players. And I think it's a great move to pick somebody up like him. Elliott from Cleveland, Terradome says.
Yeah, Jordan Elliott's from Cleveland.
Yeah. He is another one that I think they had intended for this, possibly playing in this position as well. And he's really good against the run. And this guy's great against pass rush. So, come on. Hey, we'll take what we can get.
Bebop says that he likes Leonard Floyd, hybrid edge, outside linebacker. I've been wanting a hybrid since Aldon Smith.
Yeah, it's just a long, quick guy, high energy to get after it. That's all you want. That's all you need, right? Especially on those rush downs. And what I like what they done, with this defensive line overall, the 2 D ends, the DTs. I think when people talk about this defense is different, there's something different about it this year as compared to years prior. I think it's the quality of the depth that was really different when I think about it. Because if you think about how we had like a Samson Ebicom and a Charles O'Menahue, and those guys would come in and rotate, there wasn't a big drop off from starter to backup.
Yeah.
And we kind of had that this year, right? You just hope that backup would fill the void somehow. Yeah.
Do something, right?
Right. But now you got guys who were kind of like a 1A, 1B. When you look at Elliott and Malik Collins, like a 1A, 1B type punch. And you put him next to Javon Hargrave, that's a formidable 3 in there.
Yeah, there's no drop off, right?
Yeah, there's not a big drop off all of a sudden. And same for Leonard Floyd and Gross Matos. When you put them in, there's not that big of a drop off, right? And then one thing, they can also like go inside at certain times. And we like to have kind of like 3 defensive ends on the field to make that Corvette package. Well, they give us the flexibility to do that now. So I'm seeing the direction they want to go with here.
Yeah.
Like rebuild that defensive line to where we have quality up front and quality depth and be able to mix and match these pieces and create some havoc.
fortify the rotation and keep the line as an A+ package, no matter who's on the field. You
There you
don't
go.
have exactly what you're saying, Ty. This big
Applaud
drop
her.
off and somebody rotates out. You're like, well, there it goes.
Exactly.
This play's
Well
gonna
said.
blow
Well
up because
said.
somebody
Yep.
rotated out. Yeah, so you see you see their mindset, you see what they're doing in every one of these defensive end, defensive tackle, another
Mhm.
defensive guy coming in, and you're like, well, are they like worried about who might make it? But you're absolutely right. One guy's great against the run, one guy's great against
Mhm.
pass rush. The edge guys are good at that and can rotate in, and they're just high end dudes.
Yeah.
And hopefully complement Bosa more. We thought we were getting that with Chase Young, and I don't know if the system's too complicated, but we did not get out of him. We traded a high draft pick for him, so we
third for him.
Right. We should be re-signing him to an extension or something, but instead he's in the wind and nobody's like running to pick him up. So everyone sees what we saw, that he did not perform as we had hoped. So, sometimes you miss on these guys, but
Mhm.
hopefully we get some production out of these guys that we just picked up this year.
Yeah.
Hi, Junior. Welcome to the stream. Don't forget
What's
to like
up?
and subscribe. Yes, Kendricks has come and gone already.
Decide to go to Dallas.
Yes.
What can you do?
From Matt Mayoko's 49ers scorecard, the comings are Eric Kendricks, Jordan Elliott, Leonard Floyd, Malik Collins, Yetur Gross-Matos, Goings, Eric Armstead, cut Javon Kinlaw, Jets, Cleveland Farrell, Commanders, Sam Darnold, Vikings, Charlie Warner went back home to Georgia, to the Falcons, Isaiah Oliver, Jets, extensions, Brandon Allen, Ben Barch, Colton McKivitz, George Odom, restricted free agent, Juwan Jennings.
We re-signed Kevin Givens as well. I just saw.
Yes, we re-signed Kevin Givens.
That's good news too. I like that. We have fill in the back cupboard with guys that know our system already.
Yeah.
And I'd like to turn our attention to one of the main focus of the offense that keeps it going. How y'all doing that wanted Juice to leave?
I love that we restructured.
Yeah.
Yes. He's back. The Niners were not going to get rid of him.
No, the Swiss Army knife has to stay. He is an invaluable part of our offense. If you know anything about the West Coast offense, the fullback is a big piece of what makes it successful. And, you can't let Juice go. You just can't get rid of that guy. And I love it. I love it that he's back and he was willing to restructure and do that for the team.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess the rumors of wanting him to take just a pay cut were greatly exaggerated.
Yeah.
Like, we just want to restructure you.
Yeah.
Help us clear up some space.
Yeah.
So we can fill up some of these cupboards we got.
Exactly.
Are you willing to do that? Yes, he's here. Boom.
Yeah,
That's
I think
great.
he just he cleared up 1.7 million.
Yeah. So it's not a big restructure
for somebody, right?
Yeah, but that definitely signs a guy to the back end of your roster.
Right.
Which is what you need.
Or a decent O lineman in some cases, right? You don't get the big money.
Crazy Juice says that hope we re-sign John Feliciano.
Yeah, he played well toward the end of the season. So I have no problem with that, and if they identify that, okay, he's a guy that we can move forward with for a season or two, whatever, yeah, do it. Like, I like to keep some type of continuity in the offensive line, right, going into this season, especially to help protect Brock. Like, let's make that happen. And if you feel that you can upgrade in the draft, like in the next year or so, do so. You can still do that. But let's try to keep this engine going, because the main core, all the components are still there. They're still there.
Exactly. I mean, the only rub with John Feliciano is the way he got emotional and did what no one else did the entire season, start bashing other players. And, he quickly recanted and recoiled that it's not the culture. It's not the way that we behave.
Yeah.
So hopefully he won't do that again. But I felt like he came in as a veteran and did his job and did it at a decent, level. So if that's what we need to do to just keep some continuity, then good for us. Let's do it.
Junior says, I can appreciate the moves being made thus far. Yeah, I compared to last season, where we had just signed Javon Hargrave, which was our big splash.
Yeah.
I think these are just multiple, they understand that the D line makes the defense go.
Yeah.
It was, wasn't our strongest point last year, unfortunately, and we're so used to our defensive line stopping the run. And this is something that they really needed to address.
Yeah.
And I feel that they are doing that.
Yeah. If you think about just like two games in particular, like the second Arizona game where Hargrave and Armstead wasn't there, and we just got gashed up the middle of the field, right?
Yep.
The backup DTs just couldn't do their job, stop the run. So what do? They go out and find shorter, wide body DTs to pair with Hargrave, help stop the run up the middle. When Cleveland Farrell got hurt in the playoffs, we saw they were just kicking things to the outside, right? That's where teams attacked us.
Yes.
So they go out and sign a Floyd and a Matos, to two guys that can help set the edge to shore up things on the outside. It's not one big splash move. It's a couple of splashes in here that address specific needs that helps us greatly. So I'm loving what they're doing. Yeah,
they're solid bricks in the wall. I mean, they're really good. They may not be the biggest brick, but they are formidable pieces that are gonna do exactly what we need.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah,
they didn't just go out and get one big stone to put in there.
And if you go
building this with some solid bricks to make a whole solid foundation.
Exactly. We got some really, I think, really solid pieces that are coming in to do good things here.
I like it already. Obviously Sorensen, Staley, Kucerik have a say. Yeah. And I think this is gelling quite nicely already.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on possibly the Chargers releasing Joey Bosa? Khalil Mack. I know they released, I forget his name, Mike Williams.
Yeah. Somebody,
big receiver.
So now they are actually under the cap. So it looks like both Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack can stay. Yep. But there are people that are still saying that Joey Bosa, may actually be released, or people are going to trade for him. What are your thoughts of him coming to play with Nick? I know, Mama Bosa wants that.
Was highly advocating.
They have until actually Saturday to release Joey Bosa or Khalil Mack. So what do you guys think?
I think we touched on it last week, where if it makes sense for us and we have the money to do it, and we think we're going to get the right production and the right output with having Joey on the team too, I'm for it. I'm okay with it. I think if that jazzes the brothers up and they feed off of that energy and it's good, fine. I have no problem with it. None whatsoever. But, it has to make sense. Like we said, we're not signing all of the kids in the draft that are tangentially related to players. Or
can you imagine, like, we sign like Joey Bosa, we draft Luke McCaffrey,
Brandon Rice,
the Rice kid, and the Gore kid, all the kids, right?
Yep, all the kids.
No, it's statistically impossible and improbable, and probably not going to happen. But I mean, if the Bosa brothers happen, because that could make sense for us, then fine. And maybe we need a backup wide receiver or something, and we do draft one of I don't know. One of them, maybe two of them possible, but all of them not likely. This is like who's putting bets, like who's placing bets, right?
Yeah,
It's a
right.
usual bet. Do the Niners sign every related possible option, Put some money
Oh.
on that as a bet. I'm betting against it, but
Yeah.
that's
So
my take.
I'm just seeing Khalil Mack restructured his contract, which is going to save the Chargers an additional $20 million. So they got plenty of money to keep guys around right now.
Yeah.
So
if they don't release Joey Bosa, maybe they could trade for him, but now that kind of looks
yeah, and now
a
that's
lot unlikely.
Yeah,
I don't think we
who's going to
trade.
pay? Who's going to pay that contract? It
Yeah.
gets into that negotiation, and that's where a lot of trades fail.
Yeah,
Because it's
we
like,
definitely
well,
are trading.
I don't want to pay
They
all that
release him and we
contract.
can pick him up.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's like, will you pay half of it? No, I'm not paying half of it. He's your player. You pay all of it. That type of thing happens. So we'll see.
Yeah.
If you are just joining us, we are talking about possibly Joey Bosa coming to the Niners and also Khalil Mack just restructuring his contract with the Chargers.
Mhm.
So
David
is
McNiner.
Joey a free agent?
What's that?
Is Joey an unrestricted free agent? Or
No.
is he still under
No.
contract?
He's still
No,
under
he's still under
contract.
contract.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they would have to cut him, or we trade for him.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure what his status was officially. I didn't look.
Ooh.
Yeah,
David McNiner says that if we signed everyone that the faithful want, we'd be cutting a lot of them next season to get under the cap. That's true.
Oh, we'd be in cap hell for sure.
Exactly.
We'd be the new Saints.
Yes.
Them and their 100 million over the
You
cap.
read
or
my mind.
whatever
I was going to say that.
ridiculous number is. Yeah.
So sticking with the defensive side of the ball, and Brandon Staley being the 3-4 guy, do you think that will become a little bit of a hybrid defense? Do you guys see that happening?
I mean, I think you have to believe that it will, because if that's his philosophy, it's his philosophy. It's the way he likes to run the game. I don't think, the team was looking to completely flip the script and switch the way the defense operates. But you have to believe that he's going to try and instill some of those principles. So I can see us doing maybe not a lot this first year, or something like what we saw with Steve Wilkes, where I feel like the first half we ran what we know, and then we start to instill a few things in the back end of that. But I don't think, I think once bitten, twice shy.
Mhm.
You're not going to go making crazy moves when you saw how abysmally it can fail. It can really, really dismantle what you have that is so successful. So I don't think they're looking to tear down the wall and rebuild it. We're going to keep with our bricks and wall analogy here. But
a lot of bricklaying.
Yep.
Oh,
Brick by brick.
brick by brick. We're back to that, brick by brick. But yeah, I mean, I think you do see maybe some disguised plays that turn into those things. We're good at those covers and disguises, and I would not be surprised if we didn't instill some looks that look one way and then turn out to be something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't discount it.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be some things sprinkled in.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be like full hybrid, because we know the guys like to run what they've been running.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big gripe
Mhm.
from last season, right? We're
Right.
doing some things differently, and we don't really like it.
We're not
So you see some
sure
things
where
differently.
Yeah.
and it may just be, instead of a guy with his hand in the dirt, he's standing up. He's coming from a 2-point stance from a 3-point instead of a 3-point stance, something like that. So I think you'll see some things sprinkled in just to try to throw some teams off and do some things differently. But I think that the core of what we do will still be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think there will be some wrinkles in there.
Mhm.
if we wanted to change anything, we would have kept Steve Wilkes around.
Yeah, just let him, run what he runs from the beginning,
Yeah.
right?
And clearly that really didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Our style of defense worked for the first 5 games of last season. And then those 3 losses, it was like, what in the world is happening?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, I mean, we had a lot of injuries at
bit.
this point too. We did have a lot of key injuries that I think contributed to a couple of those losses.
Yeah.
So a couple games were really close, right? We lost by. We had the potential to win 2 of those, and we didn't. We could have kicked the field goal and won, but they were ugly and they were not what we expected after watching the first 5 games be just lights out. So I do think that's when they started to instill some of the changes, and couple that with injuries. It just did not translate well on the field.
Chase Young was a season rental.
Yeah. He's a free agent.
Yep.
So
Fangio's with the Eagles now, isn't he?
yes, he
Um,
is.
He's their DC, I believe.
Yep. They brought him
Oh,
into the
yeah. He
defensive
went to the
coordinator.
Eagles, and Greg Roman is
And-
with Harbaugh in San Diego.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know Fangio runs a pure 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he runs. So all this talk about, Steve Wilkes doing things differently and us wanting to stay with what we do, it wouldn't have worked.
No, because if you bring Fangio in, he's going to dismantle the whole defense.
Yeah. He's gonna be like, we're running a 3-4.
But I think
Also,
the
you're an outside
majority
linebacker now.
the majority of people wanted that for nostalgia.
Oh yeah, it's all
purposes.
well. That was the story of this whole offseason free agency period, right? Nostalgia,
Yeah.
bring back everyone.
Right.
Shire, DJ
Yeah.
Jones, this guy, that guy, bring back everybody.
Although I do have a thought as far as the linebacker position. What are your thoughts on bringing back Quan Alexander?
Didn't Quan have injury issues, and that's
I
why
love Quan, but he cannot stay healthy.
he can't.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, right? Because
That's
he
why
was
we
in
let him go.
He was in Pittsburgh.
He was in Pittsburgh this past season. Yeah, and he got
So
injured every year. You look at
He
him;
was with the Saints. He was in Pittsburgh.
he's getting injured.
Yeah, I mean, if he's healthy and he plays well, he does. But I just think he's got
Yeah.
one of those injury bugs that are just,
Yeah, it's just
you just constantly are like having to find someone to fill in.
yeah, he is a little old in the tooth too, but he can't stay healthy. Rebecca, you hit the nail on the head. When he's playing well, but it's just that matter of he's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, when
unfortunately.
is he
I
going
love
down?
Quan,
And it's
but he at some point it's like injured, and he's injured for the full season too.
yes,
It's
I
not
was
like
gonna say, it's not like a hammy that takes a week
right,
to get over.
exactly. He normally tears or breaks
No,
something, and
It's long term. Yeah.
Ty, what's on your shirt?
it's a plain shirt. There's nothing on it. There's nothing on it this week. The one week
Wait a
someone
minute.
says, "Let me see your shirt," it's a plain shirt.
Nonsense? What the hell?
Yeah.
Ty?
That's why I was like, "Oh, I'm kind of curious now. What's on your
Yeah,
shirt?"
it's a plain shirt.
Plain shirt, Steve-O. Brian says Fangio is a great DC and he could run a hybrid. I don't think so.
I've never seen him run a
I
hybrid.
was gonna say, what hybrid did he run? I don't
Yeah.
think
He is a great
absolutely
DC.
don't think so.
Yeah, he is a great
He is a-
DC. I give him
right.
that.
He's
Yeah,
a great DC, but to run a hybrid, I think he's like too old school,
Yeah.
yeah.
and I don't see him
He
doing
likes
that.
what he likes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're gonna bring in Kyle Shanahan to run this open run and gun, air it out 50 times a game offense. No.
Can you imagine? That would be like, oh my God. I don't even want to imagine that actually. That's terrible.
It would be crazy, but that's not
Oh my
what
God.
Kyle does.
Kyle
right?
Shanahan does not. Mike would take him behind the woodshed. First of all,
I know, right?
What the are you?
This is
doing?
not what I taught you.
That is not how you were raised.
Exactly.
Mike would beat him.
You're
Beat him
sullying
behind
the
the woodshed.
family name.
Yes, blasphemy. What are you doing out there? No,
Yeah,
my
that would just be
Kyle would
that.
never.
Right.
No way.
Yeah. He is rooted
Um,
in the West Coast offense, and that is what you get.
That's right, Dawn. Eric Kendricks, the linebacker from the Chargers, was supposed to sign with us, and now he's signing with the
Yeah.
Cowboys. So I saw a tweet the other day that it was posed as a question, and it said, "Does it feel like a lot of free agents told us? I'm sorry. Does it feel like a lot of agents told us no?"
What do you mean
I
by
don't know.
agents told us? No?
Like, we reached out to the agent for the player, and the agent was like, "Yeah, no, to come play for us."
I don't know that one.
I don't
who-
know. That
Yeah.
feels like gaslighting a little bit, because
Yeah.
you just had a team that went to the Super Bowl, who's been in the NFC Championship year after year after year. As a player, your number one goal is to get there. And if you've got a team offering you something to get you to kiss the line, at least, I mean, and make it there, I don't buy that for a minute. I just don't. I think that is.
Yeah.
I guess maybe because we didn't have like that big splash signing like last year. We signed Javon Hargrave. So that I could only see as being the
What
reason
someone
for
would
that.
think. Yeah. But if you like we discussed a while ago, if you look at what we've done, it's not a big splash, but it's a lot of mini splashes that covers a lot of ground. I believe that's what their philosophy was.
And they
Like,
accumulate.
why spend 25 million on one guy when I could get 4 guys for 22 million that
And
cover a lot of
do
bases?
Exactly. What you expect one guy to cover, we've got 2 to do that job now, and they're going to do it as effectively as that one guy. And if he goes down, I still have one main guy I can count on. So I like what we've done. I really do. I like how we've spread it out and gotten quality players
Exactly.
for the same money. Look, I mean, if we reach out and we're like, hey, does he want to come and play for 2 years? No. He wants a long-term 4-year deal. Okay, fine. Maybe that is what we've done, is ask for these micro deals. And they're like, no, so be it. Don't come play for us for 2 years. Go play on the Titans for 4. Get your money and go home early and be the first one in Cabo, in Cancun. It's fine. You're getting paid. You're getting what you want, the big paycheck. And there's nothing wrong with that either. You want money, that's what you're here for. Make your money, get your retirement set. And when you're done, you get to go on vacation first. That's all.
I think the thing was, a lot of people are looking for just like a big splash, but what would that have done overall? Like, we knew our defensive line was bare.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We were missing
That's like an
DTs and defensive ends. Yeah. So
But they're
what
all
they
free
do?
agents.
We
They're
had,
like, all right, we
Kalia
can-
Davis, Robert Beal Jr.
exactly.
Kalia Davis,
Drake
Robert
Jackson
Beal
coming
Jr.
off injury.
Right.
That's it. So it's like, all right, we could go out and get one guy, or we can get 4 and really fill this thing back up. And not just
really,
4 regular guys, 4 quality guys
that fortify a lot of things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, if you combine them together, that's a big splash. And I don't think people are looking at it that way. They're just looking at it like, oh, they should have got Chris Jones. Well,
right. We should have signed this one. We should have signed that one. And these former Niners are all free. We should sign everyone back. Like you said, nostalgia.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. We don't need every former guy. They're former players for a reason. I mean, some of them, yes, went on to have great career. Defoe is a great example of that. DeForest Buckner was one that I thought got away from us, but doesn't mean we need to sign him now that he's back. I think he was a free agent, right? But, does it make sense? That's the question. Does it really make sense for us to re-sign any one of these guys? Azeez, maybe, but, he went and signed you know, with the Texans
I
or
think he definitely would have been too expensive.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
So
we saw what he got. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
he got a good amount of money to go somewhere else. But if he wasn't getting picked up, it would have made sense for us
Yeah.
to try and go in and get him. He knows the system. He knows what we do. Great player. Good for us. But
yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Like the-
I know we re-signed Kevin Givens, but I would
Yeah.
take Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott over Kevin Givens and Javon Kinlaw.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Like Kevin Givens is just rotational piece, right?
Right.
I
He's that
agree.
guy to get in there, spell him for a blow. If they get injured, all right, go in there, boom. And he can make some plays in spot duty. But when we saw over a full game period, that wasn't the case,
Right.
right? So okay, he's a great rotational piece. We can use him in that manner. But the guys up front need to be a little more stout,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Thus, we bring in those guys, and it's an upgrade.
But we also need the Kevin Givens to just come in and be plug and play that
Yeah.
we can afford to have. You have to
Exactly.
have the cupboard filled with some decent dudes too. And
Yeah.
I think it was a good re-signing in my opinion. Like, okay, we got a cog that's decent. He knows what to do.
Mhm.
It's a good, keep some
Like,
of those guys.
Yeah, like I'll take a Kevin Givens and a T.Y. McGill
Yeah.
for the back end rotation to bring him in there. 4 or 5 plays here,
Yep.
4 or 5 plays here.
Sub in, sub out.
Perfect. I'll take it.
Well, according to Mike Silver, we're still not done. So this will be interesting.
Well, there still
Um,
holds the fill, right?
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
still
I
some
would-
things we need to do.
Absolutely.
I would hope that we come to some agreement with Tayshaun Gibson. I think with Jair Brown and
Well, Huff is still injured.
And
It's
Huff
the
is still
same
injured.
MO as
Right.
Greenlaw right now.
Mhm.
yeah,
Like, there's a
exactly.
hole there.
So, but I also think his leadership is invaluable. You know how the team
Oh yeah,
loves
Gibson. Yeah,
that leadership element too, and I think he can help mentor Jair Brown along the way
exactly.
the way he's done others. So as free agents go, like there's still to me like a few key names. I'm like, oh, come on, like hopefully that's happening in the background.
Yeah.
That we're getting some of these guys signed to something.
Yeah.
And Kali, to your point, knee tendonitis can flare up at any moment. I wonder if he gave any thought about playing on the turf at MetLife Stadium.
When I saw that signing, that's the first thing that popped in my head. Like,
Mine as well.
will he even make it to week 1? Right?
That when I saw that he signed, I was like, makes sense with Saleh and him going to the Jets or Houston made total sense. I never even thought about the turf thing
Mm-hmm.
with his
Mhm.
injury prone,
Yeah.
propensity there. Like, wow. Somebody in his camp should have been like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, dude. I know it looks good, but
It's bad. You're not going to survive it. That's a big problem. Wow.
So I want to talk a little bit about a certain wide receiver's contract
mhm.
that
Here
happened
we go.
today. Calvin Ridley,
Yep.
50 million guaranteed. I forget the years.
It was 4.
A stupid amount of money for somebody who is not even close to Brandon Ayuk.
Nope.
Where did he end up?
Tennessee.
Yeah.
He did.
The
Okay.
Titans signed him. Yeah.
Oh, because I saw he
it
was a
was-
free agent, but I
Wait.
was at my site today, so I didn't get to see.
Yeah, he was in
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
Yeah. It was 4 years, $92 million, 50 guaranteed.
Yeah. So that raises a little bit for Brandon Ayuk. I would think somewhere around 55 million
Yep.
guaranteed for BA. What are you guys' thoughts on these wide receiver contracts? I mean, free agency. My opinion, I think you overpay in free agency.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think?
Yeah. Certain positions definitely get overpaid. Wide receiver is one of them. he's definitely going to be looking above that 50 million guarantee number, 55, maybe even 60. Like, I'm much better and more productive than this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we're going to have to pony up some coin for him. I mean, we knew that going into this. It's just, hopefully they come to the table and do something.
Mm-hmm.
The guaranteed money doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah.
It's just the total cost of the contract and how it's structured. It's like, how would it hurt us cap wise, right? Is it one of those balloon things where it's this number and 8 million this year and it balloons to 30 million next year? Something crazy like that.
And then in his last year, like you can't hardly, it's a fire sale and you still have this glug of a money draw that you can't even get out of.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Parag's pretty good with that stuff. And hopefully, you know, he's very good at structuring things where they renegotiate, they give you guarantee money in, you know, some middle years and restructure that going out of it.
Yeah.
As the contract. So whatever, you know, it takes to get him signed. I think that's the important part. Get him a deal, get him on the books for long term. And then, you know, restructure that or renegotiate that with the agent. So if you give him some money up front and performance bonuses and he has to perform to get some money and the rest of, you know, you guarantee some other things. I like what Parag always seems to do with that sort of thing where he's able to give you some guaranteed money. We'll restructure, give you bonus money. And then now the back end of this kind of favors us as we exit your contract.
Yeah.
I like that approach that he always seems to take. So I feel like Parag will come up with something. Who's the quarterback in Tennessee now? Like, did they get
Will Levis?
Will
they drafted him. Yeah, they drafted him last season.
Kentucky.
So he's the starter. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was like, I couldn't remember who went where, and I wasn't sure. Justin Fields, where did he end up going?
He's still in Chicago.
He's still in Chicago right now. Yeah. They haven't made a move yet.
I saw some splash that he signed somewhere. He was going somewhere else.
No. There's all kinds of speculation on where he will go, but nothing.
Yeah. And I thought Tennessee was one of the names. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've slept since then, so I haven't looked at anything. I haven't looked at anything today, and I was like, was it Justin Fields? Is that why, like, you know, when you try to attract a big time quarterback to your team and now you got to sign a big time receiver, you see these kinds of like, I will bring in this amazing receiver for you to, you know, to have a guy, you know, you need a guy for a big quarterback to come to your team. So sometimes you see those moves where they don't make sense, but in order to attract this guy, you got to have someone for him to throw to. So, but
yeah, you made up a good point. I just want to touch on that real quick. Parag does a great job with the contracts and how he structured them, and he definitely does like will float you high in the middle years, but at the end of the contract, it drops.
He has a great
so that if we trade you or have to do something, we're not hurting.
Our cap is pretty.
Yeah, like Eric Armstead's contract was kind of that way. Like it was 28 million this year, and next year it would have been just like 15.
Yeah,
with a void year at that. So you can see how it drops, and like I think everybody's contract is that way. So you know we got to start giving him a lot more credit with what he does and negotiating and just structuring these deals so that it works out in our favor.
Yeah, I think Parag does a great job because he will give Brandon Ayuk a $70 million deal, and it'll be front loaded with big old fat numbers that are guaranteed these first 2 years, and then year 3 it's restructured, and you have these clauses for bonuses, and then 4 and 5 are they tail off, so it's not a big hit when you know it's going to be up for negotiation or trade or whatever. So I think Parag's probably one of the best at it.
How are we feeling about the release of Eric Armstead?
Emotionally, it's rough. That was my guy. You know, I liked him in there. You know, I like what he did with the team. scouting things, helping out the coaching staff, helping out the young players, just giving it all his all when he's out there. I thought he's a very good player, very unheralded, didn't ask for a lot of attention, just went out and did his job, kind of blue collar like. So it's rough. It's rough. From a business standpoint, I get it though. But it's the business of football, you know. It just is what it is. A lot of people lose that point, but you know, it happens every year to every team. So it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough. So I wish him well wherever he goes next. But yeah, it's rough to see him go.
I agree. I mean, he's a Bay Area guy. He did wonderful things in the area.
Yeah, just with community. Yeah,
really quiet, understated guy who just goes out and does amazing things in the community. You never hear a single bad thing about him. He just is a solid stand-up guy.
Yeah,
good family guy. You know, and you're absolutely right. Shows up, goes to work, doesn't ask for any. He's not splashy. He's not flashy. But he was a formidable presence, and I think he's going to be missed. And, you know, you're absolutely right. He served us very well and for a long time. And, you know, these guys, especially, what is he, 10 years in the league? Something like that?
Would have been 10 years.
Going into his 10th. Yeah. This
So
is his 10th coming
he's
up.
a long in the tooth, as Terradome said. So you've got a guy who's long in the tooth in his career, and now he's got to capitalize on that. He's going to take the best deal he can get. And if that's with another team, then that's what he's got to do for himself. And you know, you can't be mad at that at the end of your career, looking to sunset in the right way for your family and set those things up. I mean, I would love to have kept him as a Niner for life, but I don't think that's going to happen. You know, obviously, it's not happening. Right. But yeah, I mean, great guy, and you can only wish him well. He never did us dirty or wrong ever in his playing career or as a professional. So yeah, it's tough to see those kind of guys go, because you only want those kind of people on your team. Yeah, solid professionals. So
yeah, remember the video they did when they announced him for Man of the Year, and different guys spoke up. Yep. And like Kinlaw mentioned how much he helped him throughout his career, and different guys, and like Randy Gregory, who had just joined the team, even mentioned him like, yo, this guy is something. He's helped me, and I see why they call him the blueprint. He's just amazing. Like for a guy fresh off the street to see that, acknowledge it, and, you know, say how he helps, you know, everyone, you know, especially in his defensive line room. Locker room, it really speaks to, you know, his character and who he is and what he brings to the team.
Yeah, he had a great run with us. You know, it's unfortunate that he is now going to be elsewhere, but that is the business world of the NFL. Yeah.
Callie just made a good point. Yeah. In the NFC Championship game, when people were roasting Kinlaw, and Eric Armstead spoke up and was like, actually, that's my fault. I was supposed to come across and fill that gap. That's on me. That's the type of stand-up individual he is, you know? And won't let his teammate get thrown under the bus. You know, even though Kinlaw was getting pushed around like a kid, he still stepped up and was like, hey, that's my guy.
I mean,
this is on me. Look at me.
Unspoken injuries all the time too, so you know, he probably was supposed to do something else and wasn't there where he's supposed to be. So, you know, owning that, you know, clearly that's leadership, and that's exactly what that demonstrates.
Exactly.
All right, you guys have anything else before we hit the 2-minute warning?
No.
All right, let's go to that 2-minute warning.
Ooh, snappers. Bam.
I would like to say congratulations to Fred Warner and Sydney Warner on the birth of their son, Bo, future Hall of Famer. Faithful, we're not done yet. We have quite a few holes to fill. This regime knows what they're doing. Have faith. That's why we are called the Faithful. And shout out to the chat. Thank you for everybody tuning in. We really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and as always, go Niners. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah. Congrats to the Warners and the Purdy's.
And the
Very big announcements for both families. Always good to see. I just want to reiterate, don't look for the big splashes. They're trying to construct a full, well-rounded team. That's what I'm seeing. And that's what you should love to see too. You don't want to see, glaring drop-offs and glaring holes. They understand that depth is key, especially later in the season.
Yeah.
So just watch the magic work, because I think they're on the right track to getting us back to playing late in February.
100%. I mean, echoing the same thing you two both said. Congrats to our players and their milestone moments in life, and amazing photos, and just beautiful family moments together. So congrats to everyone on babies and weddings and so forth. And I mean, so far what I see, I like with the moves we've made. I hope we can keep a few of our guys that are still free agents and maybe in the shadows. We'll have some things in the works that we keep the Tayshaun Gibsons and a few other players on the team. But as always, trust the process. Go Niners. We'll be here next week to see what else we do.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. See you next week.
Yes, thanks everybody.
Everyone.
Have a good one.
And of course, for the upstart 49ers, they're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3.
We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone.